So now let's have a look what are the causes which are responsible for this low agricultural output, or what are the reasons which are responsible for the backwardness of the Indian agriculture. Looking or talking about the causes, we can group these factors on three broad headings. First, we have the general factors, we have the institutional factors, as well as the technological factors. Looking at the general factors, the main one of the cause is the overcrowding in agriculture. We have learned earlier when we discuss on the role played by the agriculture sector, we did discuss like this particular sector, like it provides employment to around 70% of our Indian population. That means out of the total population, 70% are engaged in the field or they are farmers. So if we say 70%, it is too much. That means uh, there are too many, more than it is required, are engaged in this particular sector. And because of this reason, we have, so to say, the problem of disguised unemployment, so on and so forth. Actually, what we expected is that this particular total 100% population should be dispersed in all the three different sectors. But instead, it seems majority of our population are engaged in the agricultural sector, and because of this itself, it did add up to the problems related to this particular sector. Like what I've been telling you, one of the problem that this particular sector is facing is that there is overcrowding. More more people, more workers than it is required, which resulted to disguise unemployment. So if the government has really done its part by creating employment opportunities in the other sectors that we have in our economy, that means people won't have the tendency to uh, to flock in this particular sector, that is agriculture. At least they'll be able to find work, they'll be able to find jobs in other important sectors. But why the 70% of the total population are in this sector is because there is no work available in the other different sectors. And this also has been one of the reason which is responsible for the low agricultural output. The next one is the socio-economic factors. If we talk about this particular point, that is a socio-economic factors. If we look at our farmers, one important thing that we can say about them is that most of them, they are illiterate. So if I say they are illiterate, that means the way of thinking is different, the way of reasoning also is different. Okay, they are ignorance, they are superstitious, so on and so forth. So because they are ignorant, because they are illiterate, yes, we learn that uh, a new technology known as the Green Revolution did did enter into our country during the early 60s. But most of our farmers, they don't want to change their modes, their methods of production. They don't want to apply, they adopt the modern technology. Might be the reason, might be they're scared, or might be due to other important reasons. So if our farmers, they are uh, they are literate, so to say, their way of thinking, their mindset might be totally different. But because of this type of farmers that we're having, yes, they don't really wanted to go for something new, something different, but instead they wanted to stick to the old, the primitive method. And that is also another reason that contributed to this particular factor. Another, it is the natural factors. Yes, we learned that our Indian farmers most oftenly, They are left at the mercy of the monsoons. And this monsoon that we're talking about, it is something unpredicted. We can't predict the monsoon. Meaning, like, if we have a good monsoon this year, we can't say that we can also have a good monsoon next year. So, if the monsoon is good at a particular year, the production will be good, the profit will be good. But if the monsoon is bad, yes, it will affect the productivity. It will also affect their profits. And the reason why they have to rely on this, why they are left at the mercy of the monsoon, is because they don't have any other choice. The government failed to provide them with this different irrigation facilities, and as such, they have to stick on the supply um, of water. That means on rainfall. So this also is another important factor that is responsible for the low agricultural output. The next reason, the next point, the next factor is the adequate finance. Yes, we learned that looking at our farmers, the thing is, we can see there is a problem of poverty that they prevail in in this particular sector, which means majority of farmers, they are poor. So yes, even though if they wanted to change, even though if they wanted to do something different, say if they wanted to raise their agricultural output, if they wanted to say adopt the modern methods of production, they couldn't help because they couldn't afford for all these something, for all these changes. Why? Is because yes, the government failed on its part on providing them with a good financial assistance. And yes, another factor is the lack of productive investment. There is a near absence of productive investment in the Indian agriculture, as the investment in land is found to be less attractive than the alternative investment in other sector. Yes, if we talk about the investment, if a person invests, obviously his main aim, his main objective is to obtain or to get profit out of the investment. But if a farmer invests, might be a huge sum of money in this particular sector, the profit, the outcome is not that good, which means the profit is not that according to his expectations. So that also is one of the reason that is responsible for that, for the low agricultural output. And finally, we have the inadequate marketing system. Yes, after producing the different types of crops, the food grains, our farmers to hope wanted to market their agriculture produced. But if we look at the Indian marketing system, it is not properly organized. There is no proper network to channel their produce to the different states, maybe, or to the other different areas, might be due to lack of proper network of transport and communication. And that also is another reason that is responsible for the low agricultural output.